Hey, Principal Brinsley, how are you?
There. I'm all right. How are you?
Fine, thanks. Did you get out of tech? Are you a rambling wreck?
That is correct. And I'm at home with my sick child.
Oh, I'm so sorry. When did you get out?
So, 2011,
And what was your major?
history and sociology.
All right. I got out the first time in 91, the second time in 93, and I stopped matriculating in 98. So
Nice, nice. All right. Looks like the team is trying to get it set up.
looking pretty
They're
good.
having to do it without me. They're doing a great job. We can see them.
No. Can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you
Oh,
hear me?
can you hear me? Okay, great. We gotta get it through the speaker then. Wait, okay, now we gotta get you through the speaker. How do I do that? Oh, Bluetooth, press the Bluetooth. Here. Okay. Teacher in the tech. Literally two teachers in the tech, so when you took the Georgia Tech, get through that big there. We got two teachers in the tech. All right. Okay. So then, is that the tax one?
It's gotten down. Like, it's crazy how much we have.
Can you guys hear me? Doesn't look like it. Hello?
Go back
It was
to.
crazy.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you through the TV, not the speaker though. Or the,
Oh,
oh, the laptop. We can't get it through the speaker though.
yeah.
Now, make sure that you put the dongle into whatever device is hosting the Zoom meeting for the Bluetooth speaker. And then it's an eMeet adapter speaker.
Me and my husband got.
Sunday,
Right?
everybody.
And they did appointment online, walked in,
You said
walked
it's
out,
hours.
$10 Target coupon?
Yeah, I just do when I go shopping at
Hours.
Publix, or you just, it's free, you just, when I shop, I'll go.
Let's see.
At the Target?
Maybe it'll work.
Oh, Target was free.
For what? For blue?
You figured mine is free.
Use the Target pharmacy, like find the CVS.
I don't think they even care.
I went to the CVS in Target.
You do that?
Do they have your insurance?
Oh, yeah.
Like that?
No.
You guys give a shit my age.
Okay, I'm gonna try to.
And it's pretty sure there,
Then I probably have it in the CVS.
Very good. It's a pharmacy that's run by CVS.
It's a terrible Target, but the
The e-meet is Bluetooth.
But it's least supplied, least premium.
Why you need it there? It's fine when you need it there. That's only a Target. I just don't like to go like. From there, I need it. Cashier, like, before they're closed, and I have to go cash.
I was waiting, you're going to buy.
The other optometrist there also not terrible.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good.
but again, farmed out.
Yeah, I have to call in someone else on the.
And as much as everybody likes to rip on the.
I mean, I can pretty much hear everybody if y'all just want to use the TV speaker.
The camera's working.
Yeah.
And.
That's the device?
Is that it?
Okay.
I haven't been in a while.
We talked about it.
Okay,
I
so
like that color.
can you try what shows up when you do the add device? Nothing?
It literally made me appointment this morning and then walked in.
Like, isn't it free?
And it's free. I can't remember. I push it. Click on it. Disconnecting.
I like our color only because I know where.
I think it's gonna be somebody's computer.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like,
Sometimes I know
like, I come here.
Over everything.
To put in a video, and be in and out. Like I actually broke my shop in there.
So this looks like it's standby.
Yeah, exactly. Because when I pushed it, this started blinking, changing color.
I mean, it probably is already
That's okay.
pre-connected.
It's not even signatures, they're connected.
Is it your laptop or the principal laptop? So you've never connected to this before?
She was like, oh, I have Dr. Freeman.
And also like it's already connected to the dongle.
Right. She's like, oh, no, I forgot that they bring it. And then it's not here because we tried the different one there.
Okay, now try pairing. Go back to the
Yeah,
device
so I
listing.
saw it like, yeah. It's-
Okay, now go and add device.
It's like their pumpkin bread. mix.
Might have been, yeah, but my.
Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
Good job, thank you. Thank you.
Now see if it shows
Now
up.
see if we can.
on
everybody
Skype.
get this on. Can you hear us
Hello?
now?
Hello?
I'm
I
sorry.
can hear you.
Oh, sorry, I get excited when things like that happen.
I can hear you. Hello, hello. Hello.
Okay.
Thank you. Awesome. All right, there we go.
I was actually about to make a joke about it, but like no.
Beware.
You guys did a great job.
Okay. You good?
Can you see the slide deck?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, Lindley, when I hear you tell me, I'll flip the slide. Or when you as you go. Yeah.
All right, let's call this meeting to order at 2:54.
Principal Bringsley, if you could just do me a favor and hit record, that way if we want to catch a clip of it to show you all, we can. So thank you.
Recording to YouTube Live. Do I need to also record on Zoom?
I'd appreciate it because we can get it from the back end then in our office. Thank you.
We'll do roll call.
You don't have to do anything else with it, but this way it just makes it easier.
Got it.
Okay, we're gonna take attendance. Denise Bringslid,
Present.
Addison Draper.
Here.
Jahari Harris. Here. Hari Ram.
Here.
Kayla Dees. Here. Rebecca Hecox. Here. Alva Huff. Here. Alice Berkner here. Lily Terrace. Here. Stephanie Schumacher. Here. All right, we are all here and quorum is established. Great.
Okay, you all should have received the agenda by email. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Kayla, second by Addison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Great. You all should have received the meeting minutes from our last meeting. If you didn't, speak now, so I can pull them up. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes? Motion. Can I have a second? Motion by Taylor. Second over here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstaining? Great. I think we're ready to move on to our first discussion item, which is the 2025 to 2030 strategic plan development that Denise has pulled up on the screen before us. You want me to talk or do you want to talk, Denise?
I can't hear you. Okay.
Happy to. What you'll see here is the district's strategic plan has 6 buckets. The tagline is a community of believers getting back to basics. This strategic plan represents the vision and the scope of work through 2030. The big 6 buckets, they kind of exist under 2 umbrellas. So on the left-hand side, you'll see our strength is our team, our responsibility is shared, and our system is efficient and effective. That's all talking about kind of the, large scale vision. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see kind of more detail-oriented buckets, strengthening the instructional core, we are caring for every child, and we are sparking student curiosity. So this is the district's strategic plan that was recently developed for the year of 2025 through the year of 2030. And it is our job to best we can align our strategic plan at Maryland with the strategic plan of the district. I'm trying like, I gotta hide my. Oh, hold on. I just hid something. I can't see anybody now. Hold on. Go back one slide. Going back. Yes, go ahead.
I'm just reading for a second.
Read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Are the red and the black supposed to be, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to. No, but it's not like community of believers is one side and getting back to basics.
No, it's just
It's
starting
just
colors,
like how
so
we
that
did
we-
that. Okay, I just wanted to see if there was some. But is there a difference in the left side and the right side, or are they just fixed different things?
So I think the left-hand side, I think there is some symbolism with the colors. I think the left-hand side, community of believers in red, is about building the community. So it's less it's less things that are happening solely within the four walls of the school and more like things that are happening in our greater community and the city of Atlanta as a whole, thinking about, you know, our team, stakeholders, shared responsibility, systemic efficiency within the district. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see the black text to the back to basics is more what we're doing kind of within the four walls of the schoolhouse, right? Strengthening the instructional core, ensuring that all students have high quality instruction. One of Dr. Johnson's big pushes is to reduce the variability of instruction between classrooms and schools in our district. So that's kind of a more detail-oriented focus, caring for every child. That's, you know, harkening back to the whole child initiatives that started a few years ago in APS, and then sparking student curiosity kind of speaks to our signature programming.
It feels like the left side is more like aspirational and the right side is more like implementation.
Sure. Yeah. I would agree. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
All right. So one of the ways that APS is going to be tracking performance toward meeting the vision outlined in the strategic plan is through our goals and key performance indicators, also known as KPIs. You will hear KPIs mentioned often. So you can see on the left-hand side, the big 3 district-wide goals. These are quantitative metrics for the most part. The first goal is around ELA or literacy. So by 2030, the district's goal is to increase the percentage of third graders who score proficient and above in ELA by 20 percentage points. By 2023, the second goal is also to improve proficient and above students in math. That's an 8th grade metric though. So you'll see the first one is a 3rd grade metric. The second one is an 8th grade metric. And then the third goal is around CCRPI, college and career readiness. So increasing that metric by 20 percentage points. So kind of like one in each, you know, segment of schooling. So kind of the first one is an elementary school goal. Second one is kind of a middle school goal. And then the third one is kind of something that the high schools can focus on. On the right-hand side, you'll see some key performance indicators. These are, this is not a comprehensive list of the key performance indicators that the district has, but this is specifically the focus area of that bucket called We Are Caring for Every Child. That was here, the second bucket on the right, you can see, and in the black text. So these are some of the KPIs in that focus area around absenteeism, a sense of belonging, discipline data, student-staff relationships, success plans, and school climate. So these are district goals, district KPIs. What questions do you have? Hold on one second. Hey, baby, hold on. You gotta go back, baby. I can't help you right now. Okay, I'm on my knee. Okay, you gotta do something different. Okay, pick a different game. Sorry.
I'm assuming this came from those surveys that the kids get. Is it like upper grade tier?
Yes, so I will share after we kind of get through the slide deck. There is a Google folder that was shared. I believe, I don't know if we had anybody go to the Go Team G3 Summit, but it was shared there. But there is a Google Drive that actually has every KPI goal sheet for every school in the district, as well as the district-wide KPI goal sheet and an explanation of where each KPI comes from. And yes, the student-staff relationships piece, and I believe the sense of belonging piece come from the Georgia Climate Survey. And that is taken in the elementary school level by kids in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And if we go to that spreadsheet, we can dig down into the exact questions that this metric is tracking.
Does it also show what percentage were elementary students? Because you figure elementary, that's only 3 grades, I guess middle school as well. Does it break it down into percentages of this is what the elementary students felt, middle and high?
So the district level one is representative of 3rd through 12th, but our specific KPIs for Mary Lynn are representative of only our 3rd through 5th graders.
Are student success plans a new thing?
Yeah, the student success plans are an initiative that's taking off. Individual plans have generally been used for students in special ed, but we are moving toward using success plans for the majority of students. And I believe that the success plans are going to be coming into play a little bit more in secondary. More talking about success in life, like success beyond high school.
I think it aligns with it's not called the Bridge Bill anymore, but the new Top State for Talent. I think it aligns with that, which is
Any questions? Want to move on? Good. Okay. All right. So now our task is to, I can talk about this. Lindley, you can talk about this. Basically it's just kind of going over the slide, but I've seen this slide before, so it's probably easier for me to talk about it. But this is just kind of a little bit of a glimpse into the process of strategic planning, the key questions we're asking, the key indicators we're looking for. It's an upside down triangle, obviously starting with the broadest, purpose, mission, vision, and diving all the way down into the management piece, which is strategies and actions. So working through this at the district level, and then also working through this at the school level. Yeah, any questions about kind of this process? So on the left-hand side is kind of like the broader plan or way that we go about strategic planning. And then the right-hand side is more of a concrete example of what each phase would look like, from governance to management. And governance is what we do on the Go Team, and management is what the school staff does, boots on the ground in the schoolhouse. So moving from governance and setting our goals to management, which is the implementation of the strategies and actions we need to do in order to achieve them. All right. Oh, I already previewed this. So Go Team's focus is governance. This is where we're going to be living today, revisiting our mission and vision, thinking about our strategic goals, aligning them to our continuous improvement plan, which is called the SIP. and determining those main focus areas and continuous improvement activities we need to engage in to get results within those focus areas. So this is what we just saw. Okay, so this is the Go Team Office's purpose and timeline for strategic planning. Purpose, to cascade the district strategic plan to the school level while grounding our focus in the school's continuous improvement plan, which is that CIP. This will create alignment, reduce confusion, and simplify. This is something we kind of started to do last year, which was align the CIP and the strategic plan, because why would they be different? And we are making a move district-wide to align those documents. Like I said earlier, the timeline is, these are 2030 strategic goals, and we need to make sure that we update, approve, and rank them by January and the start of second semester, because we will focus on these strategies as part of our FY27 budget process and CIP and continuous improvement plan project process. Okay. All right. So these are the items. Oh, hey, that's the, I knew that QR code was there. So that's the QR code. I know you probably don't want to look at it on your tiny device that can scan that QR code. But it looks like that QR code is the access to that Google Drive folder with all of the data sheets. So that's the data sheets. The KPI data sheet is one of the resources we're going to be using today. That's number 3. The first resource, number 1, that's an example. Underneath, that's been teens strategic plan as an example. So we're going to look at our former strategic plan that we had from 2020 to 2025. We will take a look at our 2025 to 26 CIP or continuous improvement plan goals. And once again, that school data sheet with the KPIs to develop our Mary Lynn strategic plan. Once again, these are all examples. These don't represent Mary Lynn's actual goals.
Sending everybody the KPI.
Yay, thank you. All right. So, like I just stated, we are going to review our data, review our mission, vision, purpose, confirm those 2030 goals, make sure they align to the CIP, identify our objectives for the 5-year strategic plan, approve the plan, and then most importantly, rank our objectives so that we have a roadmap for FY27 budget planning. So on the right-hand side, you'll see the example meeting cadence. We are currently on business meeting number 2. So we are reviewing data. We'll look at those KPIs. We will review our mission and vision, make sure those align, discuss our 2030 goals, which will align with our CIP. And then at the next meeting, we'll dig deeper within those goals, identify our actual objectives. And then by business meeting number 4, we will confirm those ranked objectives and prioritize them in order to allocate funds. Questions here? Great. Okay. Oh, like I said, that's where we are. Okay. So if you received the email from Kinley, I was going to say KPIs, from Lindley with the KPIs, it's probably easier to look at on your screen. I'm not there, so I don't know how big this is coming up for you, but this is our KPI summary for Mary Lynn. It's got a lot of data on there, so maybe I'll give 2 or 3 minutes for everybody to just take a look and consider the guiding questions on the left. What do you notice? What do you wonder? What questions do you have? What thoughts do you have? I will, of course, will answer anything that I can. I did not make this. This was created by APS and the Go Team office. So yeah, take a look.
You want me to print these? I can print them. You make a put them in my office?
So Stephanie, fun fact, I actually have these printed if you are interested in rifling through the things on my desk.
Where are they? I'll go get them.
So on my desk, there's a stack of papers. Underneath, I have like 3 tiny notebooks, all different notebooks, and they're underneath that. There's just like 8 copies of this in that
Okay.
stack. Feel free to pass them out. I tried to be prepared. But they're-
Okay, you're right now.
My eyes are not. Those are really good ones.
Mine are going.
Yeah, they'll go soon. Don't do the math. My eyes are going. What is the world?
So just to kind of like, share like largely what the layout is of the document, you'll see the 2030 goals. Those are our 5-year goals are in red. In the middle column between the current KPI and the 2030 goal is the number of percentage points. That's what that PP stands for, percentage points that metric would have to change in order to meet that 2030 goal. Any questions about the data? I guess, oh, you found them?
Before I brought them in here, so.
Great.
So all of the current KPI numbers there, that's Mary Lynn right now.
Yeah.
Versus like, they just straight up on the goals that is submitted.
So this data represents the 2024 Georgia Milestones Administration because 2025 data
Right, so like,
has not been released in some cases.
as of the 2024 data,
Yes.
Mary Lynn, 69.8% of third graders scoring proficient or above 50.
Yes.
And students with, yeah, that was under. No, I'm
He was-
in general. Oh, in general, yeah. Even so.
I have a question about the discipline data. But I think it has the discipline data for Black students and with disabilities. And I guess they can do economically disadvantaged, but then for disproportionality, where's the group they're comparing it to? Like, are they comparing it to white students? Like, how do we know the ratio of what, at the rate they're getting suspended at compared to their peers?
I think it's the all.
Of all, like it's saying if there's 10.
Yeah, no,
Black
I
stu-
understand if it's at all, but it's like, it's hard to know if it's disproportionate if we don't.
Oh, we don't have.
Yeah, I don't have.
Like how many kids in Maryland are?
Exactly.
Yeah.
and if Black people.
Where's the disproportionate piece you're talking about?
In the like original goal, it was like to address discipline, disproportionality and suspensions and out of suspension.
Oh, you mean when it's the percentage of all students without suspicion?
Yeah, yeah.
Suspension?
Yeah, and like it was in that like first slide of the overarching
Yeah,
goals
so
from
I
APA.
think it's less of a discrepancy at Mary Lynn, then we will find that out.
Yeah.
The next one.
Disproportionate.
Lillian, which one are you on there?
The we are caring for every child.
Yeah.
First bullet.
So that's, I guess that's my question. It's like, how can we measure disproportionate if we're not?
Also, like,
That would be a great question for Diane and the Go Team office. Definitely, or Travis Norvell. His office did a lot of work developing the KPIs. Stop, please, Lillian. And aligning them to the strategic plan. See what you're asking, but yes, that would be a great, that would be a great question.
is the disproportionate discipline tied to the chronic absenteeism? The way that's worded is weird.
Mommy's in the middle of a meeting, my love.
Highlight.
Yeah, I know, but it's like,
But it also.
it's like being disciplined for being absent, is the way it reads.
I think it means it's a similar.
Okay. But I mean,
Because on the
It's
report,
weird.
it was like 85% versus like 90%.
I think the point is like, in terms of
Like,
determining
like
disproportionate,
90-something% and the.
instead of just having an all, if we had an all other category,
Right.
that would be.
Here there is no, it's like 90.
Yeah.
But it still is like 3%, but that's like maybe one
Might be
student.
one student, exactly.
So-
And so it looked like, but, well,
No,
no, but
right.
with the previous slide was showing, I think that was for the district, that was the district goal. I think we kind of, because we're part of the district, it seems like we kind of just fall under that, so I don't know how that will work specifically for our school.
I
No,
think
we
it's
don't
not
have this anymore.
either, because if all of the students getting OSS were minority students or Black students, like, that percentage would be a lot different
Yeah.
than the all students, especially considering that we already know that that's a small percent. I don't see that as like, for our school, if we're
I think the
particularly
district-wide
lacking
is like-
data point, but like at the district wide, it'd be nice to know like,
No,
but
there
like,
is.
what is happening for the white students?
She put it up there. It was one of the
Yeah.
slides she put earlier, which had the district-wide number.
Yeah.
I
So
don't-
I'm guessing that if we were already exceeding the district average numbers, they're not going to set our goal lower than. So like I'm seeing where it's like, the discipline all students 99.6, goal 99.6. The district goal may be something slightly less than that. It's probably not
90.
100% goal. Yeah.
It was 90.
They're not gonna say, oh, your goal is to drop that number. So there's stories in comparing to and looking at other schools to help understand where those goals are being set, I think. And looking at like the district averages.
What's the student staff relationship? Like, how was this?
I think that's the one the kids fill out. Like,
Right.
it's questions like, I feel
Comfortability.
comfortable in my class. I feel like I can tell my
It's
teacher,
very
like,
60%.
Mhm.
Right.
Less than
They're
2 and
not
3.
senior kids,
Yeah.
they want to go back.
If I'm being honest, the question was a little confusing and it was the first year it was asked, so I definitely suspect, this is my opinion, that maybe a understanding of what that question's asking was not super clear. Because I think what we look at it like, really, that's a low number. I think it maybe wasn't super clear what the question was asking of the kid.
I was, okay.
And the other thing is they want our enrollment to go down.
No, that's, I think that an APS goal,
They're wanting all schools to have a.
they
perfect
want,
unit.
that's a facility thing that
Okay.
they're putting into all the documents.
Why are the black kids the only subgroup looked at if we're looking at minority? Like, if
They're
there's
not
not,
So
Same to
there's,
me.
no, there's disabilities. too.
but there's not Latinx community, there's not, is there, because there's not the
The
enough
biggest minority.
students? Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, in APS are there?
I was about to say.
That's
That's
what-
and Mary Lynn they are, but
But
not.
not
in
in
the
the
district.
district.
That doesn't seem like it's me.
Yeah, like.
But in like Gwinnett, you would probably also have, you know, elected middle subgroup.
Is it a matter of us qualifying as a subgroup? Like, is it that specific, like it is on the milestones, like you have to have a certain number of
Yes,
kids
that's
for
right.
it to be counted as a subgroup?
And you probably have to have a certain number of kids at each school.
Cause like,
So
if
while
you only
Garden
had four
Hills-
Latinx students, it
Yeah,
was very
we-
easy to tell what 25%, 50% or 75% meant.
Good question, I wonder if.
I don't know if that's 100%.
The in, I'm having a hard time hearing, but I think you're talking about the in, you have to have at least 15 kids
Okay,
for it to be, for us to have a subgroup.
Denise, are these metrics the same for every school?
Yeah.
No. No,
Okay.
if you'll go into that Google Drive that Lindley shared, Lindley, did you share the drive that had all of the schools in it? You can pull up and see all of the schools have the same focus areas and categories, but the numbers are all different because the number, the KPI, the current KPI is based on current data. The goal is based on however much they need to grow to get to whatever the 2030 goal is. Not everybody has the same goals.
Just like a little bit of, I wouldn't say reset, but refocus maybe, like, so. Just so we're all on the same page, the district goals are set. Right, that's been done by the district, that's what we're aiming for. We know, like, I mean, or like,
Right.
more or less, that's like what we're discussing, and how do we get towards the district goals, right? And this is what we have, and so like, that's what we're talking about, is bridging that gap based on the fact that
that's what the district has asked us to do, like through their own process.
Yes, I mean, these are the KPIs that were set by APS for Maryland Elementary School. We didn't have, there was no, this isn't like a, these aren't up for discussion or like change, I don't think. Obviously clarifying questions are welcome. And I think Lindley or whomever wants to share those with the Go Team office and maybe Travis to get clarification on that disproportionality piece and anything else you want clarification on. But yes, these KPIs are what we're working with, and these are the quantitative pieces that we're going to use to track our progress on our strategic plan.
And like they might dictate like which areas we want to focus on more than others based on like how big of a goal change we're looking to achieve.
Sure. It can, and we have to align to our SIP, our continuous improvement plan. So we have to make sure that the KPIs that we're pinpointing align to the goals embedded within our SIP. Let me see if that's next. Oh, that's not next. So that comes in a minute. If you want to move on.
I just real quick checked some other schools for their student staff relationships, and they're all super low.
Okay.
I think it probably was just overall.
It's a weird question.
Yeah.
How's it? I don't even know how to word it.
It's scored backwards. So you're answering, would I always go to an adult?
Right.
But you're, like, what's reported is backwards on it. Also, if the kids don't understand what's being asked, they're probably gonna go towards the middle instead of answering with more of a certainty of like always or never.
Yeah.
So it was a new survey last year too. So definitely is something to work with.
How good was your perfect dialogue?
I'm giving you a 5, so I don't have to answer questions.
Denise, I had a question for you. Towards the bottom, safety perception, what, do you have any understanding of that? The percentage of students choosing very safe or extremely safe?
Yes. So if
Okay.
you'll go into that Google Drive that Lindley shared, there is an actual, I can pull it up later. I don't want to go off track of I don't want to get off of my presentation, but if you go into that Google Drive, there's a spreadsheet that says like explanation of KPIs. And I looked at it because I was also wondering, and there's a selection of maybe 4 or 5 questions that specifically that safety perception piece pulled from on the Georgia Student Climate Survey. So they're all questions related to safety, and it's like, I think it's like the geographical locations, like how safe do you feel in the cafeteria? How safe do you feel in the restroom? How safe do you feel in the hallways? How safe do you feel on buses? How safe do you feel in your in the gym or at school events? So it's just like 5 or 6 questions about safety in, if I remember correctly, in various spaces that kids could be while at school. And if they answered, it's also reverse. So they had to have answered very safe or extremely safe for that to be a positive for us. Okay, should I move to the next one? Okay. So I heard that there was some discussion on the stated mission and vision at other Go teams per my fellow principals we met yesterday. But this is the mission and vision and purpose of the Atlanta Public School System, who we are. We are Atlanta's public school system, why we exist, to educate and empower Atlanta's students to shape the future. So if you'll take a look here at the top of our former strategic plan, these are the latest versions of the Mary Lynn mission and vision, updated how many years ago, Stephanie? Before I got there, but not too long before I got there, maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Does that sound right? So the mission is, they're backwards, oops. So the mission of Mary Lynn Elementary is to educate our students through meaningful interdisciplinary experiences, partnerships among students, teachers, and the community. We'll prepare our students to be caring and creative risk takers ready for the world. And the vision is to foster students who are lifelong proactive learners. Our students will be clear communicators who use innovative problem solving to address the complex issues facing our community and world. So we obviously, it's a little bit more lengthy on our end than the districts. But thinking about the broad brush that's painted with the district's mission, vision, and purpose, do we feel like we need to update these, or that there is acceptable alignment?
Can you go back to the APS one, please?
Mhm.
I think that's suitably vague that ours fits. Ours fits well within that.
I agree. I mean, it's very, and I think that was like a sticking point for some Go teams, it seems, when they had their business meetings last week. Their second business meeting was like, that's not even an actual sentence, to educate and empower Atlanta students to shape the future. But I think that the point is so that, you know, schools can autonomously, you know, develop missions and visions that fit within a pretty broad bucket.
I think you can read the Atlantis in italics in different ways too, but I think the purpose of that is to stress that we're trying to serve all of the students and all of the community. Like, obviously, we have our own community and the district has a broader community, but that was an important focus. And I want to make sure that I think we should probably incorporate that if it's not already, that we don't already feel it's incorporated in our own statement. But I think overall, I feel good about what we have already.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we say partnerships among students, teachers, and the community, that speaks to, you know, the inclusion of all stakeholders within the community. Open to feedback.
Well, and that vision and mission was written by our STEAM teacher-based STEAM team.
Right.
So we like had a bunch of meetings, we looked at a bunch of vision and missions from other schools. We came up with it, and then it went to the Go team, which I was not on at the time, and then the Go team. The Go team wasn't really a part of the initial conversation. It was like really the teacher, like based on looking at other schools that were like STEAM schools when we first started. And at first it was just like our STEAM vision and mission, and then it kind of skipped over to like our actual schools one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's broad enough to be.
Yeah,
school
to be both.
vision.
You know, the only, I'm not trying to do this, I really like the vision part, which is our mission, and I like the mission part, which is our vision, except I only wonder if we could change ready for the world in some way to reflect like aware of our community and ready for the world, or something like that, or like engaged in our community and ready for the world, or something like some way to build the community for it. But otherwise, I mean, just making it more wordy, and I'm fine with it how it is, but that was good.
My only thought was, and I asked Stephanie, I said, isn't like we know by the problems we solved, but that's our motto, but I wonder if any of that language should or could also be reflected here, because like creative risk takers ready for the world, well, then we're also telling them to be problem solvers. So I don't know if there's a way to think
Yeah,
about it, like.
I bet I could get, I'm guessing not a single student
Yeah.
knows this,
No,
but
they
they
would.
will all know.
They do know the
The motto.
community knows that.
Yeah, it's
on the.
because we put it on the wall, it's like on our announcement.
Yeah, I think the motto kind of stands alone, right? Like the motto is almost like our purpose, like it's mission, vision, purpose. I think that the motto is like a one line kind of like purpose that captures, you know, what our goal is, you know, and that's to be known by the problems we solve.
Is it the ready for the world part that's?
And we just take that off and just stop at risk takers.
Yeah, I feel like you
Yeah.
could just stop at risk.
And I think it came out of when we were like college and career. Remember when the
Yeah.
APS one was
Because the
launched and it
mission
was like,
was-
our students will be ready for college or whatever's next. And so I think that's why we had that, because at the time it was still the long APS one. So yeah, I mean, we could take that part off.
I don't mind the ready for because it is an elementary school, right? Like, a whole part of this is building them for the next step, but like, I think I wouldn't mind, I mean, partnership among the community, I mean.
Sorry.
I don't have the answer for, I don't, like, ready for the world, just seems like a throw in, and and I would rather it like either doesn't exist or ties to the goal a little bit more of like problem solving or like awareness of the community
Well,
or
make-
like with knowledge of the community.
Or could it be what, just creative problem solving or creative problem solvers or? Cause the community part, I interpret the community part solely what partnership is, because we do have people from the community that come in and speak to support with the STEAM projects that we're doing. We do things collaborative with parents. So I see it in the true meaning of what partnership is, and that's preparing the students to be creative risk takers.
And we actually, at this meeting, don't need to rewrite these.
Yeah.
We can think about it and then kind of come back to it. Doesn't mean. Right, so.
The partnership part came out of like the site reserve, because there is a lot, like, we had a whole actually meeting yesterday, with the DOE about like what partnerships are, like, that is one of the big things.
So
that
I
we're looking
think-
for and stuff.
Right.
And so that's, I think, why we put that part in, that it's like, we're supposed to have, having these partners that are coming to the table and the planning table and doing things. So that was where like that got put in.
I personally would change, if I had to decide right now, I would change ready for the world to engage in their communities because, and communities plural, because it recognizes that we have different communities, but that they are aware of all of those communities and.
Okay, well, can someone, like note that we can read, how do you feel about rewriting that second sentence? Partnerships among all stakeholders will prepare our students to be caring and creative risk takers ready to enact change in their communities.
Yep.
Something like that. It's not really like just kind of like making it a little bit more specific. So I'm getting so close to my, I'm trying to hear you guys. I just realized my face is really close to
You're kind of off to the side anyway, so we can see the whole
Oh, that's
screen.
so funny. I wasn't even looking at myself, but like my face is all the way up here. Okay, anyway. Okay, so can someone you take a note of that and we can make that update, maybe Stephanie, somebody on the website. And then this is our old strategic plan, so we can make sure that update is noted when we devise our new one and cement that by the end of the semester.
Perfect.
Okay.
What's the new version?
So it's gonna be, we said partnerships. Oh, well, I guess I can just type it right here. I can do that. Okay, what did I say? Partnerships among all stakeholders will, what was it? It did say partnerships among students, teachers, and the community. Don't want to say community again, that's repetitive. So partnerships among all stakeholders will prepare our students to become, to be caring and creative risk takers, enacting change within their communities. How do you feel about that?
Positive change.
This is the mission of the definition. Yeah.
Whichever the,
Sure, positive
one of
change.
those categories.
No, I mean, it's not necessary, it's just in parentheses.
I'll put positive.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. I like that.
No, we like, we like positive.
We like positive, thank you.
Partnerships among all stakeholders.
Okay, this was update, was that it's the mission. Update, second sentence of mission. Okay. What do you need, Ivy? Okay, go ahead. Okay.
I don't want to put a breach in this, but that actually confuses me, but I also, in the interest of like time, is this something we can like edit?
Oh, yeah, later. Yeah, this is the meeting for it.
Yeah. Okay, so-
You can't even be doing it. This is for like.
Correct.
This is like.
Okay.
Okay, so the next, wait, we go back to slide 22?
Yep.
And now I kind of already addressed this, whether our school mission aligns with the APS mission. I would say it's a little more tailored to Mary Lynn, but it still encompasses
the APS mission to empower our students.
And then I'm going to highlight the second sentence because just to remind ourselves, that's the one we kind of made a change to.
Okay, now you can jump to slide 24.
Got it. All right, so confirm 2030 goals. So on the next slide, we've got our SIP, which is our continuous improvement plan. I'm going to share those 3 goals. I'm going to share 3 draft goals that I created because it does have to be pretty specifically aligned to both our SIP goals and our KPIs. So I kind of tried to pull both of those together as best we can. These are definitely drafts up for discussion, but I thought we needed to have a jumping off point or we would be here forever. So here we go. Let me make this as big as I can. Okay, so we have 3 SIP goals, continuous improvement plan, and those are first, at the end of the 2025-26 school year, 3rd through 5th grade students will increase scoring proficient or above in math. This is our math goal. We went from 85% to 90%, and this is aggregate all 3 grade levels, so 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Our second SIP goal is around ELA or literacy. Same grouping of students, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students will increase scoring proficient or above from 78% to 83%. On the spring 2026 EOG, once again, that's all 3 grade levels combined. And for our 3rd goal, which was recently updated based on feedback from Ms. Sofianos, we did have this goal around, if you'll remember, you may not, I don't think we mentioned it too often in Go Team, but we have a school-wide goal around utilizing standards-based rubrics for both teachers to assess students, for students to assess their peers, and for students to assess themselves. But that has been changed. That wasn't a very measurable piece district-wide. So we have changed that to increasing family engagement by intentionally focusing on the utilization of the Infinite Campus parent portal, which we have a really high percentage of our parents, or families, I should say, who utilize that parent portal. We do have 17 families that don't use or do not have a parent portal login. So we want to increase that from 96.8% to 100%. I think that's an achievable goal. With doing some specific one-on-one outreach with those 17 families. We've already started talking about what that looks like. And then we want to increase our longitudinal data tracking via the contact log, which if you're a parent, you don't know what the contact log is. That's an internal piece that we use on the staff side within Infinite Campus to log contact that we have with families and parents. So we use the contact log often. The district has created a brand new function within the contact log to specifically log parent-teacher conferences. So you can log whether a parent-teacher conference was held in person, held via the phone, whether the parent-teacher conference was scheduled and didn't happen, or whether there was no contact from the parent regarding the parent-teacher conference despite attempts. So we're just increasing the number of teachers who are utilizing that function within the parent or the Infinite Campus portal. This is not increasing the number of parent-teacher conferences that are happening. So right now, because this just started, most schools have a very small percentage of staff that have actually logged their parent-teacher conferences so far using this new function. So we're at 4.8%. We just talked about it yesterday at the staff meeting. Parent conferences are happening right now. So we want to increase that to at least 75% by the end of the year. That's our SIP goal.
How are we measuring engagement through Infinite Campus? Like just to have an account or?
Oh, we were talking about. Like, what does it take to be engaged? Just simply having the account or actually doing stuff on there?
Like for
Having the account and logging in on an annual basis.
So
That's the district's metric, not ours.
I mean, that's easy to achieve, but does it actually? I can achieve anything other than.
That's what I just said.
Well, the SIP goals aren't up for discussion right now because those were created based on feedback from my supervisor. So And those are goals that that we have to have because they're being tracked within our cluster. So we have to show movement on those two percentages. I don't disagree with you because we talked about it around the expanded leadership team table, and we were like, is that actually helping us increase engagement? However, I think that we have a lot of avenues that we engage families in Maryland outside of the parent portal. So this is kind of just a quantitative piece that the district is tracking and wants to see growth on. However, if we look at our strategic plan goals, I think that we have a little bit more of, what am I trying to say? It's a little bit more meaningful. It's an actual meaningful piece instead of the parent portal usage. What do you think, babe? Yeah. Okay.
But it's bad thing to start parents on in elementary school because in middle and high school, there's so much emphasis on Infinite Campus. And so parents don't even have a login when they get to middle school, that it's so your kid has all these missing assignments and you had no idea. And it's all these alerts would have been popping up and you would have had no idea. And then next thing you know, it's like October and you get 17 missing assignments. So it's actually not bad to like make parents aware of it in elementary school.
Yeah.
They're gonna say immediate.
Yeah. Well, and we also are utilizing to a higher degree comments within the parent portal. So we are definitely encouraging teachers to write comments on assignments as they're completed, to provide additional context in the moment, like as a teacher is grading an assignment, instead of like sending a note home or going the extra step to like locate the paper, put it in the folder, send it home and say that, this was a retake. I had to sit with Lillian and do this assessment, in order to, provide a modification. Those type of comments are going into the contact or the parent portal more frequently. So that also serves as an engagement piece for parents. Specifically, I mean, in the lower grades, there's a lot of comments on like behavior, conduct. Yeah. And the draft strategic plan goals, which have to align to the SIP as best they can. For the first one, I used our KPI, I believe. I'm gonna have to go back. I don't have any of my stuff. No, I did not use our KPI because we don't have a KPI for math because math is 8th grade. But we said increase from 85% proficient and above to 90. Oh, that's why it's 8%. Because this is a 2030 goal. Sorry. So this is a 2030 goal. So our SIP goal for the year is to get our percentage of proficient and above kiddos in math to 90. The 5-year goal would be to keep that steady get up to and keep it steady at 93% of kids proficient. And then our subgroup goal, there is a subgroup Black for African American will increase by 15.9 percentage points from 74% proficient, which is where we were in 2025, to 90% proficient. And then the SWD, which is students with disabilities, subgroup increased by 15% from 50 to 65. Those, I believe, are outlined in our KPIs. Can someone look at that and confirm on our KPI? Okay, great. So that second, the subgroup goals should be aligned with the info on the KPI sheet. And then the ELA goal. Now this I pulled directly from the KPI sheet. You'll notice that the school-wide SIP goal is a 3rd through 5th grade metric, but in alignment with the district's strategic plan, I crafted a 3rd grade only goal. So this is for the 2030, so 5-year strategic plan, percentage of 3rd graders only scoring proficient and above will increase by 17.2% from about 70% to 87% by 2030. Okay, close the door. Subgroup goal, students in the Black or African American subgroup will increase by 14 percentage points from about 70 to 85. SWD subgroup, it's the same growth goal, 15% growth from 50 to 65. And then by 2030, the percentage, okay, this is the best alignment that I can get regarding family engagement. If we're highlighting family engagement, this is something that's a little bit more meaningful and intentional, I think, to speak to your point, Addison. The percentage of favorable responses to supporting student success from the family engagement survey could increase from 3.8 percentage points from 86.2 to 90. It's not a huge growth piece. Open to different KPIs that we could hone in on that could increase or support family engagement.
On your list of family engagement. Like specifically on the KPI sheet.
Which is weird, because I don't even actually think that's family engagement. That's like not how I would describe that, because it's not really having to do with.
Other than
Right. Yeah, but like the how the kids feel about their teachers.
that's on the.
Oh wait, this is the family.
No, this is a different survey. Yeah. No, I know what you're saying. This is a different survey question. So this is the one, if you look on the KPI short sheet toward the bottom, the only two metrics, unfortunately, the district is tracking for family engagement are the percentage of favorable responses on that family engagement survey and the percentage of Infinite Campus parent portal accounts, which is that one we just talked about. So those are the two KPIs that we have. And our current KPI is a little bit different. It's 96.8 or whatever I showed you. I don't know where that 98.5 came from, but currently we have 96.8%.
Yeah, I mean, if that's what they're tracking. Yeah. Like, we can
I know.
do our other, like in our inner school year to year goals with other stuff, but this is what they're tracking. Like, yes,
Yeah.
we will meet. But yeah.
Right.
Two.
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
or it could be for number one as well. Why, economically disadvantaged students aren't a subgroup?
We don't have a subgroup.
We don't have enough.
But it's listed here. It's listed in the subgroup here. And it's part of the KPI goal.
Which line are you at?
It's like the.
Oh,
fourth
I see
line
it,
down.
subgroup
Yeah.
proficient economically disadvantaged.
They're at 45.2%.
Maybe that's just of the students we have, but they're not
Yeah.
enough to be considered a subgroup for that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
My guess.
Cause I know it has to be at least 15, so it might be just accounted for.
But if they listed it,
I'm on a meeting.
Or is this the form same for every school? So
Right,
maybe
that's
they
what,
listed
yeah,
it.
but they probably just have.
And this one is for this big ones down here, okay?
12, and you do the percentages that way.
So
you
these
think?
ones, the little ones are for your eyes, and these ones are for your cheeks, okay? So sorry, you're correct. So there is an economically disadvantaged subgroup. We can, I think, focusing on 3 subgroups. The idea is that you're actually making goals that you can meet. We do have a lot of kids who meet multiple subgroups. So if we want to, instead of doing the Black student subgroup, do SWD and economically disadvantaged, we could.
do we have enough students in SWD? Because we were just talking about that there was some confusion if there's even 15 or more.
Varies from year to year.
Denise, you're saying we could create a subgroup of economically disadvantaged students?
Yes, I would suggest that we choose 2 subgroups to focus on as opposed to 3. Also, I'm looking back at this KPI sheet and remembering why I chose Black and SWD, because we have those growth pieces as well. So there's the proficiency and the growth. I think if you look at other schools' subgroup growth, I think that some other schools might have a subgroup growth economically disadvantaged. Can you see my mouse? Yeah, like right underneath this one. So you see how there's 3: subgroup proficiency, Black students, subgroup proficiency, SWD, subgroup proficiency, economically disadvantaged. And then it repeats: subgroup growth, Black students, subgroup growth, students with disabilities. I think the growth indicator is what we often won't have for our economically disadvantaged students, because what you're required in order to get a growth metric is for you to have 15 of the same students year over to measure that growth. And they have to all be in 4th or 5th grade, because we don't get a growth data point for 3rd graders. So basically, in order to have a subgroup growth goal, you have to have at least 15 students who you have who meet that subgroup. You have a score for the year before, and you have a score for the next year. So we would have to have 15 students who are with us in 4th grade and meet that subgroup profile, and then are again with us in 5th grade and meet that subgroup profile. And same with the 3rd to 4th grade. That it's hard to explain.
How much do these subgroups, we kind of noted it a second ago, how much do they intersect? You were saying that there's a lot of intersection between Low SES.
I can't hear. I'm sorry. Can't hear your question.
What kind of overlap between the
intersect?
subgroups?
You had noted just a second ago that there are overlaps between these groups.
How much of it? Between
it's not a whole lot of students. So a lot of we do have students at Maryland that meet all 3 of those categories. And the number of students that meet all those 3 categories is too low for me to actually give numbers and grade levels, because for sake of like being able to identify the kids. But there's a lot of overlap.
Are you saying that there might not be 15 students that whose progress you could monitor for enough years in a row, who are in the lower SES category? Is that what you're saying? You might not have 15?
Yes, and that's why we don't have, can somebody check a different school and see if a different school has a subgroup growth for economically disadvantaged?
Yes.
Yeah, like they're more.
Yeah, I think that we don't have that growth metric because we don't have enough kids to measure the growth. Because the growth is based on longitudinal data, like year over cohort data. The proficiency metric is just based on one test at one time. And so that metric we meet oftentimes, because we will have 15 kids within 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade that take Georgia Milestones with us at one, in one assessment period who meet that subgroup profile. But we wouldn't have those same kids year over to get a growth score because of transients.
Yeah. And then also too, if this was based off of like 5 years, during that 5-year time frame is when they did the rezoning and everything too. So we lost, there's a lot of different things that switched when they rezoned and moved some of the kids from here to Springdale and everywhere else too, to affect numbers as well.
Yeah.
And like the CCRPI data is the data is embargoed still, but if you look at historically our closing the gaps scores, which are based on growth and metrics like we're talking about, we don't always have a closing the gaps score represented for the economically disadvantaged subgroup. So I think that was kind of the reason that I would go with the Black or African American subgroup and the students with disabilities subgroup, because I feel confident that we will, certainly with the Black or African American subgroup, the SWD subgroup, sometimes, I mean, we usually are right at like 15, 16, 13, 14 kids in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. So we meet it sometimes, we don't meet it sometimes.
And Denise, I feel like, I think you may have answered this before, but I just, for my own understanding, the KPI things, what we're looking at is because this is what the district highlighted as a concern or a need. So we just have to choose those things. We have this data because that's what the district pulled out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess my question, given the fact that low SES students are scoring the lowest out of all subgroups, if we're not included in, say, in the plan, I'm getting confused with these terms.
The strategic plan,
Yeah,
with the The previous slide, I think, I think it might be 3 slides forward.
Is there another place to capture like ways in which to support them? Because again, given that that's like, they're the lowest of all subgroups. But I hear what you're saying about it will be really difficult to capture both. So what's a way to acknowledge like we're seeing this reality of their scores and at the same time, you know.
Well, you would see the change in proficiency.
That's a really good question. And now I'm understanding a little bit more why you were asking about the crossover. I would like to dig into the data and like look at the kiddos with our team, because I wonder how many students would actually fall in, like if we're talking about actual kids, I don't know how many kids would actually fall into that economically disadvantaged category and not also fall into one of the other 2 categories. So I see where you were coming from with that now. So let us, because we can continue to talk about this at our next meeting. Can somebody make a note so I don't forget, even like literally like put a sticky on my desk to do that, because we have our data dig. We were supposed to have it Friday. We're gonna have it Monday, or our whole child meeting, and we can talk about it then. Because I would love to know, because if those students who are labeled as economically disadvantaged and are in that subgroup are captured in the Black or African American subgroup and or the students with disabilities subgroup, we could feel confident that raising those 2 metrics would also raise the economically disadvantaged subgroup. That's kind of what you were saying, Johari. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. And let us dig into that, because I presume it's not a lot, but I want to know for sure. Yes. Okay, oops, sorry. Oh wait, let me go back to the slide we were working on. Okay. So once we do that, there's a potential for these subgroup goals to change. Outside of that, the obvious, you know, lack of enthusiasm for the family engagement piece or the KPIs, right, that were chosen. How do we feel about the 5-year goals? I also wonder if we're providing feedback to Travis and the team, if we could, I don't know, recommend or highlight some other way to measure family engagement that's a little bit more pertinent for us and intentional, you know, because, you know, we always want to increase family engagement. We want to do it in a meaningful way. You know, and I don't know, you know, to everyone's point, if just tracking these numbers is going to be the most effective way. So I wonder if we want to ask Travis because I wonder if there's other schools in that same boat.
Say it again. Mika?
I had a thought, but I don't know if it is something we can use, because I pulled up the parent responses on the school climate survey.
Yeah.
And there's one question that stands out because it's the only question where we're below the district average. So I wondered if something tied to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know you can't set a goal that you can't actually change, because some things are really high and probably going to stay. But if there's something that we're scoring below the district average, that feels like a needle we probably could move.
Yeah. Yes.
So, like, the question is, I'm involved in the decision-making process at my child's school.
Yeah.
And that is the parent climate survey that is below the district average.
These are the parent responses.
So I wondered if that's data that we
Join your
could tag
local
into, that seems like more of a needle that we could move.
Question too, and I don't want to be a bee in a bonnet, but what?
Oh, speak a little louder.
Oh, yes, and I say this as a parent who's also been a K-12 elementary school teacher, and I sometimes I'm like, do parents need to be fully involved in the decision making process? Or should we trust teachers and administrators and people who have gotten trained to do this work? You know, it's like, maybe it's okay that it's low. I don't know, maybe that's.
What's the
just-
question here?
I'm involved in the decision-making process at my child's school.
I can tell you, if we just change involved to aware, we'd get a lot.
Yes.
I mean, like a lawyer, I wouldn't go to a lawyer's office and be like, this is how you should be doing your job.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how you should be doing your job. Maybe. It is, I agree, the wording on that.
I
Wish I was
think
more.
Addison, sorry to interrupt, but I think Addison, that piece is huge. Changing it from involved to aware of, because yeah, I totally agree. You should totally be aware of it. you might not have the bandwidth, capacity, or knowledge to be involved, right? But yeah, sorry, I agree, I love that. But that's the state's question.
Yeah.
Denise, do you think that the number of parents who attend parent-teacher conferences, is that the kind of family engagement you're talking about? Like, that's trackable, or do you mean things like volunteering?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, what do we want to prioritize? I mean, I think that the district wants to track the number of parent-teacher academic conferences that are happening and how often, to what degree parents are sitting down and speaking, individually with teachers about their kids' progress. And so that's what that contact log tracking is doing. Once again, we've always had parent-teacher conferences at Maryland. We have really high participation in parent-teacher conferences. We just haven't been necessarily tracking that in Infinite Campus, right? So if we want to take that piece out of our SIP goal and make it a 5-year goal to make sure that we have 85-90%, in the contact log or on that data point, we absolutely can. If that's more academic and engagement and less, parent involvement engagement, but.
I guess I'm wondering what specifically do they want? What kind of family engagement do they want you to increase? Quantifiable.
I don't know that they've explained it.
I wonder if that's what we could push back, like from a parent perspective of like this expectation to increasingly quantify every single interaction a teacher has with students. Feels ingenuine, feels unproductive. I mean, Miss Huff is my son's teacher, and I don't call her all the time, but I know she's got my kids back. So it's like, but you can't quantify that. And so I think that's something to bring to Travis and the team is like, it's not doing what you think you're doing. Like it's not accomplishing that goal.
You can.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Right, like,
I think on the
That
20,
is true. Just go on over there and knock on the door for Travis.
I think for purposes of this meeting, like on the 2030 bottom half of that part 3, like it's fine. That's what they've asked us to measure. It's what we can measure. Like
We can give feedback.
and we can give feedback on it like this. And then like when we do like our SIP and our other like year by year plans, like we can build a lot more. And that's like how we as a school are going to be more engaged with parents and with families. And that's something we can do. But in terms of a measure, like a metric that they've asked for, like this is what they've asked for, we can do that, and we can focus on other things in terms of how we're gonna actually improve the school as opposed to how we're gonna make them happy.
And cool fun fact, Ms. Springfoot showed us yesterday, which I enjoy because I love data, that when we do log in, like teachers, when we go in the comment box and say it was a parent teacher academic conference, it also would show for APS grads as well, just the same way it does with MAP and all those other scores. So that. But I got excited for that because I like data. I was like, oh wow, look at that. Another data point.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Kayla. All right. So we will keep it moving here. Provide, Lindley, will you, or who's going to provide the kind of feedback to Travis?
I was like, Lily.
Sure. Or Kayla, our vice chair, you can do that, ma'am. You wanna?
Well, we're out trick or treating. Take a little loop.
Kayla and I will coordinate.
Can you put it next to?
Cool.
I talk to him like every day, so, you know.
Yell from your porch to his porch and he can hear you.
Okay, so after reviewing our current strategic plan and school KPIs, are there any additional goals we would like to include with our 2030 SIP goals for our 2030 strategic plan? These were suggestions I had going off of the KPIs, just things, and we've already kind of talked about these already. That subgroup growth goal, that was what I was talking about, that we don't have. Student staff relationships, that was the one indicator on the KPI. If a student feels that they have somebody they can go to if they need something, as an adult they feel comfortable going to at school. And then the staff engagement piece.
Shouldn't that focus be, and I don't know if staff engagement captures this, but staff retention? Rather, it's different than staff experience.
Yeah, so the staff retention KPI is supposed to be around that compensation piece. That's the indicator that the district is utilizing to increase staff retention. The idea is that if the average teacher salary meets that $100,000 mark, then APS will better retain teachers. We could set a staff retention goal. We do not have a staff retention problem at Maryland. So I wonder if, because we don't have a lot of issues with turnover, we could get a bigger bang for our buck going with something additional or different. I do agree, and that's why I put it on here. Number 2, I do want to see that indicator come up, right, with the student staff relationships. We've already talked about prior to the Georgia Student Climate Survey, which doesn't happen until the spring, incorporating, conversations about finding a trusted adult, identifying a trusted adult, incorporating that either into counseling lessons with Ms. Kelly, or, just conversations, morning announcements, just SEL moments to remind kids that, we are here for them, and that it's always a good practice to identify somebody who you can go to if you need help. And just, I think doing that and opening up that conversation and leading that conversation as the adults in the building will help increase that metric, just by increasing awareness. I mean, I would be okay with adding that goal.
And student staff relationships, do we measure, or is there any sort of questions or any way of discussion around their engagement with the non-teacher staff, both the nursing and the counselors and the specials teachers and the other part of their day that is, and also just custodial staff and maintenance staff and everybody else around the building that they're engaging with, that it's separate from their homeroom teachers? Is there a way to measure, to just for our personal benefit, understanding that part of?
I would say a lot of the players that you mentioned just now are part of their potentially trusted circle of adults. We have folks who serve as mentors, specials teachers, support staff that serve as mentors for students. I can't think of a specific place that type of question is asked, like delineating between how you feel about your relationship with your actual teacher versus how you feel about your relationship with people who aren't your teacher. I think it more is gauged to just identifying a staff member. And, for some kids, that staff member is our school psychologist, right? Who's not a teacher at all. Yes, Becky, I can't.
But the question that they're tracking is tricky, because the question is tracking, I feel comfortable with most of the adults, or many, or what is that? I just pulled it up. All of the adults, most of the adults. Those are the positive responses.
And that would incorporate all adults, yes.
Sandy Hook Promise training that we're doing this week, we're asking them to name one trusted adult. So there's definitely some messaging that's different than what the question is asking, because if we're asking people, well, no, I really don't, because I don't know all of the adults. So they're logically answering this question in a way that probably isn't indicative to, if I needed help, I go to somebody.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Maybe we need to talk more about how that messaging can be more cohesive.
Support.
Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
Messaging is about relationship building.
And there's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many good relationships, but
Yes.
if I'm being, do you trust all the adults in the building? Well, no, I don't know those first grade teachers. If I'm a 5th grader, didn't go to first grade here. There's just some things
Absolutely. Yeah.
I also wonder, in a roundabout way, if, to your question and point, I wonder if that last part where it says safety perception, students choosing very safe or extremely safe to location questions, if they feel safe or feel like they have a relationship with the people in those different settings, then they will feel safe in the cafeteria because, oh, I know I have a relationship with these people here.
Right.
I have a relationship with the nurse, so I feel safe. And then I wonder in a roundabout way if that's how that could also be measured
Like,
too.
just from an internal way.
Right.
Identify like, where are students feeling the most comfortable?
Exactly, because if you, yeah, it would be fair, like if someone said that they didn't feel that in the lunchroom, if they didn't know the
Right.
people who, yeah, if you never, yeah, so I don't know. In a roundabout way.
Sorry, guys. Okay. So do we want to add a goal or do you want to wait and see how we feel next time we meet? Add the students. I mean, I feel like we can only add one, and you know, I feel like they're all good options. The student safety, student staff relationships.
Maybe wait, let it, let us brainstorm a little bit on our own.
Okay, and let it simmer. And I wonder once we kind of talk to Travis and talk about that family engagement piece, if we might want to rewrite that third goal totally. And make it make more sense to us. I mean, I get the strict alignment between the SIP and the strategic plan, but the SIP is technically a yearly document. I don't know why this says 2030 SIP goals. I didn't write 2030 SIP goals. I wrote 1 year SIP goals. So I would like to see a specific goal to increase one of those two metrics. And I think that we would benefit from having one of those as our third goal. I realize it doesn't necessarily align with family engagement. It's more like stakeholder engagement and like staff relationships or student relationships. But we could look at that for next time when we solidify everything. If you guys want, is that cool?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So that kind of brings us to the end of our conversation today, which was just to brainstorm these 3 goals. We are going to go back to the table regarding the data on those subgroups, identify if we're able to, it's not more than 15 students, I'm sure, but identify what students who might be economically disadvantaged and not captured in one of the other 2 subgroups to determine whether we need an ED goal instead of one of the 2 goals we have. We're going to consider feedback, or we're going to provide feedback to Travis on the family engagement piece and consider updating goal 3 when we go to actually put all of this in the strategic plan at our next meeting. Have I missed something there? Is that right? Okay. All right. Well, does anyone have any questions now that we're here? I know everyone has a million questions. Any questions that you think we can answer and help us right now? No? Okay. All that's left is the principal's report, where I just wanted to tell you about the goings on here in the schoolhouse. We have Healthy Choices Week happening now. Huge shout out to the PTO for funding our staff wellness day, in addition to a staff lunch day for Wellness Wednesday. Shout out also to the Daily for doing an in-kind donation for that today, and Bar Taco for doing an in-kind donation on that for us next week. We are having a staff wellness day once again. See, sneezy girl, bless you, baby. We are going to once again prioritizing teacher retention and staff engagement and just staff wellness, having a wellness day on the election day, professional learning day on Tuesday. Outside of all of our meetings, we're going to have some and planning sessions. We're going to have some fun, relaxing. Really is the right word, not fun. I mean, they are fun. It's fun to relax. Experiences and the chair massages. I'm so glad that someone clarified yesterday at the staff meeting, because folks thought that just meant sit in the massage chair. It does not. We actually have massage therapists from In Town Retreat coming, so that's exciting. Yes, very good. We have our Thanksgiving luncheons coming up. Make sure that you purchase your visitor meals via My School Bucks if you're interested in attending. There is no limit. Somebody asked if they could invite 3 guests, a parent and some grandparents. Of course, that is fine. There is no limit on the number of meals that you can purchase.
I got a question about this, which is.
Yeah.
You not want to eat the food, but still want to come.
You can come and you don't
That's
have to
great.
purchase.
Yeah, you can come on. No problem. You just won't get a ticket.
Don't sign up,
Yeah.
just don't have a ticket, just show up
Yep.
and have lunch.
Just show up at your kiddo's time. Make sure you bring your ID. We'll sign you in, and you'll just head down to the lunchroom, meet up with your kiddo, and sit with them during the luncheon. Yeah, no problem. Good question.
Oh, pay in advance via my school bucks.
Yes.
So
If you're buying one.
if you're for the parents, so, okay.
Yep. And the QR code's not on this promo, but the QR code and all of the links and information are in the Rocket Blast last week, and will continue to be in the Rocket Blast in the coming 2 or 3 weeks, so people can sign up. We have book fair also happening that same week.
On the 20th, our scarecrows will be on display. I'm talking about Steam Night.
Yay!
We can install scarecrows. We'll be doing that the Friday before. Hopefully it will be raining and it will be lovely and they're gonna be all lit up. We have like light them up and everything. Maybe all Science Olympiad will go out there. What happens at Steam Night? Lots of things. We have like maybe 18 or 19 vendors confirmed and they come in and there's like a lot of people in the gym, but then this year Splatter Studio in Virginia Hounds is coming and they want to bring mini canvases. So they're going in the art room. The Midtown Robotics team comes, does a big thing. Carter Center comes and like I'm trying to think who has individual rooms. It does a big thing. We get all of our like school robots out. The book fair is going to be open because it happens to be the same day as book fair. So Dr. J is going to have for one of the hours the book fair open, and we talked about maybe highlighting the science-based books at it. Like if it's the second to last day of the book fair.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what else happens? We're gonna have a food truck. Just getting an email about that. We do not do that anymore. That was very popular. You can pay them. Oh, we have this guy, he plays a harp made out of glasses. You know, those like where people do the thing like
Yeah,
this, but
yeah.
all these different ones. It's like a full display, so he'll be in there doing that. During the day, we're having a science show, 30-minute science show for each grade level band.
The 20th is gonna be a very busy day.
We up in the schoolhouse. Denise like
Thanksgiving lunch, book fair, and Steam Night, and Steam Day.
Get
Don't be
ready.
crazy.
Get ready.
Get ready.
Be drinking a lot of coffee.
That's right.
But yes, everybody come. Bring it. Have some dinner.
All right. Well, that's it. We've got comprehensive long-range facilities plan. I'm not sure if you all received or read the messages that came in from APS regarding the final proposed changes. I think there were 17 school sites that are schools that are being repurposed, school buildings that are being repurposed. None of them are within the Midtown cluster. There is a recommendation that's the same recommendation that was put on the table at the outset, which was pending East Blast to add 300 seats to Midtown. Is that correct, Lindley?
Yes, and they'll be presenting this plan to the board on Wednesday. So Wednesday, the board will meet for a first read of the long-range facilities plan, and then they will vote theoretically in December on the plan. So if you'd like to listen to the presentation to the board, you can log on to the APS YouTube channel. If you'd like to speak at the meeting, these meeting dates are not correct, so don't follow those from the Go team. Instead, you can attend the board meeting on November 6th, November 5th at 5:30 downtown at CLO. Public comments will be at 5:30. Sign up in advance if you're interested. But yeah, recommendation has stayed the same for Midtown. And Dr. Johnson had said at our last task force meeting that he is not going to share any details on how the 300 seats will work. And he will be focusing on other projects. So we'll be having a great
Did it share what clusters? Well, I guess I can look in the form. I can look in the.
Yeah,
form. I'm assuming it's a blank.
Carver, Washington, Douglas,
South Atlanta.
What'd you say?
yeah.
YouTube.
I think that's about it. Any questions from anybody? Our next meeting is December 10th. Right here. And
I do have something. On the December 10th meeting, can we each bring in a snack for the holiday?
snack pop.
Lovely idea.
We're gonna probably need a great bit in my household, but you know.
I got you. Sure. And in fact, maybe even non-staff member, go team members.
Yeah.
And
We can do that.
well, you're already be here. Well, at least be coming from.
Sure.
I think it's good for me.
No, you bring something.
Oh, no, I'm not winning.
Oh, yeah.
This staff is judging. Without any public comment,
You don't know what holiday to call.
then we can adjourn this meeting at 4:23. And we can end the recording.
Stop share.
Diane, still
And hold on, I gotta end this. I gotta stop.